everybody, what's going on? This is Dr. Jeff C. May, and welcome to another episode of Doctor's Orders, advice you should actually take. That may sound arrogant, but I'll tell you what, in an age where most people are dying of chronic lifestyle diseases, clearly there's something wrong. Clearly there is something that we need to address, and that's what today's episode is all about, because I'm coming into this episode a little edgy, a little pissed off, a little frustrated, and whether you agree or disagree, we have to look at some of the facts when it comes to how people approach problems in their life. And the reason that I'm a little pissed off, a little triggered, is that as we look into this season of 2024, I actually like my favorite number, by the way, is 24. It was my high school basketball number, whatever, who cares, right? But we all tend to have a little bit of a favorite number. So coming into 2024, I was like, oh man, 2024, it's going to be an amazing year. And then I remembered it's an election year. And then I remembered, the United States of America turns into an absolute blame game, third grader cesspool in and around like a freaking election, which should be one of the most things that's celebrated. It should be one of these things where it's like, hey, whether you're voting blue, whether you're voting red, whether you're voting independent, whether you're not voting at all, we should actually just celebrate the fact that we have a system where we can go have a say. But what it's really become is just an all-out excuses, whiny, literally like a third grade conversation. And we pay these people. We pay these people out of our tax dollars to sit there and have these career-long politicians that just sit and blame. It's the blame game. And so I was sitting there and I was like, why am I so angry? Why am I so triggered about this? And it's like, all I hear from both sides is blaming. For the most part, it's like, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. And really, do we get anywhere like that? If we had a relationship, in terms of, you look at any marriage, how long is a marriage going to last when it's like they constantly just blame each other for everything? And that's what really pissed me off. And then I'm like, okay, well, why does that make me mad? How does that show up in my career at Advantage Health Center in Jordan, Minnesota, when we're sitting there and our mission is to help people become healthier, happier, more productive? And I will tell you this because excuses never have a place when it comes to actually being productive in your healthcare. And our medical system, and I'm going to say medical system. When I say medical system, I'm not talking about healthcare in general that encompasses, that umbrellas every thing that would fall under healthcare, because you've got natural healthcare, you've got medicine, you've got emergency crisis care, intervention, all those things. So when I'm saying the typical American approach to health is broken, I'm telling you that eating by the food pyramid will create more disease and sickness than a lot of things. But then how do we handle health? How do we even define health? Usually in the United States, we define it as, I don't have symptoms, because we go into the doctor when we have a symptom, and we usually get prescribed a pill to treat a symptom. And the underlying cause and real function and real healthcare never gets addressed. So in all reality, we actually do health backwards. We do health backwards in the United States. In fact, I literally just have, you can't see this if you're just listening to the recording or in the video, but I printed a shirt and a hat that says the word health backwards. If you follow us on Instagram at Advantage Health Center, you saw I posted this the other night. And so it's literally out of frustration and trying to wake people up along the way and saying, hey, we do health backwards in the United States and we've got to get away from this. And unfortunately, just this past week, I saw patients that were ready to make change. I saw patients that were ready to make change in their healthcare, and yet they let the stories, they let the excuses. And when I say stories, I mean the same thing as I mean an excuse. They let the subconscious voice in their head dictate these things that says, it's too much work. Oh, it's too much time. Oh, it's too much repetition. Oh, it's too much money. Whatever it is, it's really down to the core of you've let your excuses dictate your reality to the point where you just listen to them and you're afraid of the work. You're afraid of the work. You're blaming it on, it's my insurance fault that they don't cover it. Oh, it's my genetics. That is, no, it's my job. I'm too busy. You'll blame it on everything under the sun. And what you're really doing is you're playing politician. You're playing politician when it comes to health, and nobody's coming to save you. There isn't an election to change out. And in all reality, like changing out the leadership these days, it doesn't seem like it does much good, because they sit there and bitch and complain about the other people, or this is what I had to inherit, right? And so you're sitting there. Can you see yourself in the fact that, this is the way it's going to be, because like my parents were overweight. My grandparents were overweight. This is just what I inherited. Are you kidding me? Like, stop playing politician when it comes to your healthcare. Stop playing the blame game. Stop thinking that excuses are ever going to produce excellence, because excuses, the only thing that they ever produce is more of the things that you don't want. And at the end of the day, you've got to go back not only to change what you're doing, you got to change the why in what you're doing. You got to change your belief system, because beliefs drive behaviors, and behaviors produce results. So let's go backwards. If you don't like the results you're getting, you have to look at your behaviors. And you got to understand, why do you perform those behaviors? And if it's sitting on a belief that, this is the way it's always been, this is the way it is in my family, this is the way it is where people grew up, where I grew up, whatever the friggin' story, whatever the excuse is, whatever the thing you're blaming is that's keeping you from taking responsibility for your health, it's got to go. And it's got to go now. Otherwise, you're just a liar. Otherwise, you should just sit there and say, I want to be overweight. I want to have back pain. I actually want headaches, because that would be more truthful statement in so many ways if you just said, I want to be sick, because that's the way you're acting. That's what you're believing. So you should at least just say you want it, instead of like living in this frustration of not knowing how to change and get different results, and being frustrated and whining and complaining and be like, oh, woe is me. No, get off your ass, literally get off your ass, get off the couch and do something about it, and truly do something about it. And I say that with as much compassion as I can, because I get to see the flip side of it. I get to see what happens when people finally, and unfortunately sometimes, and I said this before on a podcast, maybe you're not in enough pain. Maybe you're not in enough pain to actually make change. And in that case, I wish more pain upon you, because some people actually have to hit rock bottom in order to get off their bottom. Think about that. People have to hit rock bottom a lot of times in order to get off your bottom, get off the couch, get off the sedentary lifestyle diseases that are killing 66.8% of Americans to date. Right? We're killing ourselves. And so as we unwind this, one of the things I want you to look at is I pulled up this study, and this was like from 2010. And literally, when a lot of times people need to know that, yes, I need to start moving more. But what if the first thing you did was just stop sitting less? What do you mean by that, Dr. Jeff? I mean that, okay, exercise might be a big step for you. Like if we were across a cavern, and those wood plank bridges, and maybe saying like starting exercise for you, maybe too many planks. Maybe that gap is too big. We just have to lay down a few more planks. The first plank you may lay down is just shutting off the TV. Now, why do I say that? Why do I pick shutting off the TV? Because sedentary lifestyles, watching an hour of TV will actually increase your risk of cardiovascular disease. Did you know this? Oh, this is fascinating, Dr. Jeff. Yes, well, this was the study from 2010. And so the clinical perspective on this thing, what they did is they tested people. This was January 26th, 2010, volume 121, pages 384 to 391. And when we looked at the Australian Diabetes, Obesity, and Lifestyle Study, this is a really crazy study. But listen to this. It says each 1 hour increment in television viewing time was found to be associated with an 11% and an 18% increased risk of all-cause cardiovascular disease mortality. There you go. So what if your one plank isn't necessarily doing exercise? What if your one plank is shutting off the TV? That could be something you could do today. Well, I don't know. I can't shut off the TV because my family likes to have the TV on when we're making dinner. Okay, you're playing politician again. You're playing politician again with your health. You're blaming somebody else. You're blaming your family. You think your family wants you to have an 11 to 18% increased cardiovascular, all-cause cardiovascular disease mortality. You're telling me your family wants you to die sooner? Okay, we've got some other issues, and maybe, I'm not the doctor for that. But I can't imagine a family would want you less healthy. In fact, I would want to think that your family would be one of the biggest advocates for you being more present, having more energy, having more vitality, sleeping better, aka being healthier. Because the true definition of health is an optimal state of physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being despite having symptoms. The World Health Organization, which they define health, I guess if that's their role, but they didn't define it if you have symptoms or not. There's a state of health that you have never experienced. And I tell people this a lot of times, there's 110 and 220 volts of electricity as they come out the wall. You were made for 220, but most of the people that you see walking around, and including listening to this, are walking around on 110. They think they work fine, but you were made for so much more. You were made to run on 220. You just have never had a doctor and potentially never had the veil pulled back, to look behind the curtain and seeing what real healthcare can be. Because all you've been ever taught was the blame game, the sick care system, take a pill for every ill, cover up the symptom. As long as you don't have symptoms, that you're healthy. And I'm here to tell you that is a lie. It is a fallacy, and it kills 3/4 of all Americans. 5 out of 6 people are going to have cancer or heart disease before they die. That's not okay with me. That's why I'm mad. That's why I'm passionate. That's why I get on this mic. That's why we serve people each and every day. Chiropractic care, IV nutritional therapy. We have neuropathy. We have soft wave tissue regenerative therapy. We have so many amazing natural healthcare things inside the office where I work each and every day to help people, because people are healthier and happier and more productive inside of my office than not, because we're not going to just tell you to cover up the symptom. We're not just going to tell you, oh, there's nothing you can do. Just take this pill for the rest of your life. Are you kidding me? What a joke. And so your doctor's orders on this episode, if you already don't watch TV, which a lot of my listeners, they already don't, they're already pretty much with it. They get it. But if you're sitting there finding yourself watching TV or having the TV on, shut it off. If you don't watch TV, get moving more. Find a way to start moving your body. Your body literally is like the emergency flashlight where you got to wind it up in order for it to work. The better you move your body, the better you will feel. And if you're struggling, if you're finding yourself with a body that you haven't taken care of in a while and you've got some issues, message me. I find chiropractors and like-minded natural healthcare doctors for people across the country all the time. We just recently sent one of our programs out to an individual in Montana. So shout out to you, Laura. Like, I know you're out there. I know you're going to get healthier for it. So this isn't just about Jordan, Minnesota. This is about so much bigger. And if you need help, you have to ask, because we cannot read minds. But I will tell you what, we can help you reach your goals once those goals are clearly defined. And if health is in those goals, we're the people to talk to. So love and appreciate you guys. Those are your doctor's orders. Until next time, keep living that advantage life and stay healthy.